Good morning.
Good morning.
What a beautiful morning. It feels like a little respite for you guys, I think, because of the heat. You guys are all complaining about heat. From us Floridians, we're like, huh? Actually, I think it's been hotter up here than we experience in Florida because we always have the ocean breeze. So, yay! Oh, so for those of you who we have not met, and for those of you who are familiar, we actually were talking earlier. I was talking to Roger, and I said, gosh, we haven't been here in several years, and I feel like it was just yesterday because walking into the sanctuary and into this community always feels like a little piece of home. So thank you for allowing us to enter those doors and feel so welcome. It's been a joy to return to this area and to this community. The way that we do a message with music is I sit down and write. And as I write, usually some of Bob's songs come to me. And I'll be honest with you, what I write is really just a conversation that I'm having with myself in my head. So it's really a contemplation for me. And what I started doing was writing them down and identifying those songs of Bob's that are coming to me and that fit in with that message. So this is going to be kind of a complete experience for just sinking into what this message is for you. Because what it means to me is obviously different than what it means for you. It's going to land where it needs to land and how it needs to land for each and every one of you. So I'll full transparency, I created this writing, about 3 weeks ago maybe? 3 weeks ago. And number one, it fits so beautifully into the poem and into the daily word and into what you just shared. So of course, divine connection and divine humor in everything that we do. And it also fits into the fundraiser that we just did for our nonprofit, for the church that we are ministers of. Bob just released his 10th album, New Levels, New Devils. I'm working on a book, New Devils, New Levels. And if you're married, you understand that. So this is kind of why we're on the road right now, to honor all of the creations that are coming through us. So I figured, what a beautiful way to sit out here in nature and bring in some of our creativity and what we're in the process of right now.
That's it? I love the way she just hands it to me. She gives me that look. It's time. So you've been broken open again, heart raw, twisted and bent. Well, it's not like you've never been here before, so you cry your tears and you pick yourself up off the floor. You're reminded of your work again, wondering when will it ever end. The truth is that it never really does, 'cause the work of the heart is just the same. As it ever was. It's just new levels, new devils, old ghosts, new sins. Don't get discouraged, dig a little deeper down within. There's a different view this time around. There's a shorter distance to the ground. There's a kind of nourishing with it when you take the time and you taste the tears rolling down your chin. Don't let it just hurt you and walk away. Let it speak its truth and have a say. Remind yourself how far you come. Let it done. It's just new levels, new devils, old ghosts, new winds. Don't get discouraged, feel a little deeper down within. Don't let it just hurt you and walk away. Don't let it just hurt you this time. Don't let this moment be about anything but elevating you inside. There's a different you this time around. It's a breakthrough, not a breakdown. There's a holy love that's filled your cup. There's a brighter light up in the sky. Where you're looking up. It's just new levels, new devils, new growth, old soul. You took this pill, you swallowed it whole. New levels, new devils. Can we hear the Unity choir? New levels, new devils. Last night we had 3-4 part harmonies going. New levels, new devils. New levels, new devils.
Devils, devils, devils. Where does that word come from? What does it mean?
Live backwards? Seriously.
Lived backwards.
Sorry,
Yes.
I didn't
Yes.
mean to answer
Lived
that.
backwards. Yes, lived in reverse. So, without going into a big, master's class in language and origins and etymology, the word devil, the concept of the word devil comes from a being divided against itself. A being divided against itself. We all know the good wolf and the bad wolf, right? And the constant dance that we get to play, right, internally. A being divided against itself. So it's not an entity that lives in hell. It's a piece of us that creates hell within ourselves. And we can transmute those hellish moments of being in a wounded victim state to an empowered, victorious state. Only we don't defeat some external enemy or some external adversary to become the victor. We free the internal part of us, that little devilish, impish part of us that fought for the victim award. That part that cheated us out of seeing the higher potential during the actual situation that it was birthed. The part of us who just loves to stare back in the mirror and let out that whoa, right? So, how long do we allow ourselves to retreat from that prankster until we just flat out get tired and bored with that ghost? That ghost that haunts the perception with which we are able to walk through life. As we complete every piece of our healing work, as we begin to understand the new potential of ourselves, as we experience a new level of becoming, that devil will disappear and we will begin to disconnect from it. The grip that it had, it will release. Its unhealthy effect will diminish and decay. And the beauty about the process, the decay process, is that it creates fertile ground for growth. Yes?
Yes.
So it's always, always important to remember that we never release. A lot of people don't like this. I'm just going to warn you right now, okay? We never release an experience or a part of us, who we are, through the affiliation of that experience. Okay? We never release it. We release how we perceive the experience and who we are after the experience. When we get that bird's eye view, a view that's beyond what we could see when we initially experienced it so close up and personal, right? With that initial situation. So it's not that we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, that never happened. It's the perception of what happened to us that changes. Yes? Because everything doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. So, a lot of times there's a step that's quite delicious that many people overlook. If we release something, what happens? There's a void. There's an emptiness of that reality, the thing that we thought was reality, right? So I don't know about you, but I don't want a little sinister villain moving into that open space. I want to be very intentional about what gets infused into that new space that we've created. So maybe a new perspective or a new story that is rising from the ashes of the hell it felt like we trudged through to get to create this new version of ourselves. Whatever it is, whatever that might be for you, that newly fertilized soil you stand upon in that moment is ready for you to plant a new potential. Your new potential. What happens when we plant? We bury. What do we bury? We bury a seed, right? A seed that could only exist because we are willing to examine the things that are below the surface. The underworld, the subconscious. So that seed can sprout with a different perspective from the one that came before. As the roots of that new seed of potential spread through the mud, we become the sprout. We're reaching for the light. We're being nourished by the work that we just did in the decay that we just created. We grow with that new potential that we created in that seed. We grow with our new foundation. So, just real quick, and this is not like a big 5-minute contemplation, like whatever pops into your head is right and perfect. So this is like a quick thing here. So think about something from your past, whether it be a concept, a thought, a belief, a paradigm, a friend, a relationship, a job, anger, an emotion, grief. Think about something that you previously released. And just take a minute to recall the situation around that. And for a minute, step out of yourself and observe yourself after that situation, after that release. What happened within yourself when you felt that energetic shift around that thing that previously seemed unbearable? Describe the qualities that you see in yourself. That old victim energy was transmuted into that victorious energy. What are the qualities that you recognize happened in yourself because of that release? What changes did you make within yourself to recognize that you could become and were becoming a new level, a new potential of yourself? What did you do to continue to ensure that you kept running that victory lap? How did you challenge or hold yourself accountable to remain at that new level of awareness, that new level of consciousness? I would say this. The reality is, if you did not feel like you were ready, if you didn't feel like you were leveled up enough to kick out that little devilish perspective, you could potentially still be walking around with that little guy on your shoulder, right? Or that little gal on your shoulder. Reciprocally, if you didn't feel the tug and the test of that little imp, you wouldn't have a reason to become a different version of you. So, which came first? The devil or the level? The level or the devil? The new sin or the new win? Which came first? Doesn't matter. So you just remembered a moment from your past for some reason. From a shamanic perspective, everything shows up for a reason because it means something to you today. You remembered it for a reason. And you recalled the changes that you made, how you continued to move beyond the place that you felt stuck. You remembered some new qualities within yourself when you stood outside of yourself and observed that moment again from a different perspective. So from that place, I want you to celebrate you, because we go through all of these beautiful transmutations, transformations, healing journeys, whatever we want to call them. Life really is what it is, and we forget to celebrate our accomplishments, like what we have done, not out in the world and not that everybody else recognizes, but what we recognize in ourselves. It's so easy to recognize those things in other people. But how often do we sit and go, wow, like I made it through that. And I am a different person because of it. Heck yeah, like rock on. Heck yes. So from that energy, from that place of recognition, awareness, a new level, from that place of celebration, I want to invite us into a meditation. So whatever that looks like for you, however you need to get your body comfortable, however you need to open up the pathways for you to receive deep breaths, I want to invite you in and simply allow your breath to activate every cell in your body. When you receive your inhale, consider the gift that inhale provides to you. With reverence, receive that. Allow that life force to enter your being and activate the internal parts and pieces of you. And I invite you to extend that activation into your energy field. I call it your earth bubble. Extend that out and activate all of your energy, everything that makes up you internally and in your energy field. And as you connect with the all of you, I invite you to take a moment and identify something that today, in this moment, is calling to your heart to be released. Something that you maybe have been toiling with, maybe you've been challenged with, maybe you've been wanting to just set aside some time and say, I'm gonna intentionally release this. I'm ready to let this go. It could be a story, a paradigm, limiting belief, whatever it is. Something, someone, the dynamic of your perception of those things. What is that thing that's ready to go? If it's an object, if it is a something, bring that right into your center of awareness, right in your mind's eye, standing right in front of you, staring right at you. If If it's a feeling or a concept, allow it to take some kind of objective form so that you can hold that object, that representation, that symbol of that thing in front of you in your consciousness. And remember, don't let it just hurt you and walk away. Not this time. In this moment, you are going to give that thing, that object, permission to take center stage and create a beautiful stage with all of the lights, maybe there's an orchestra backing the performance. Give this thing life. Allow it to live. Allow it to express what it wants to express in front of you. Simply observe it. And as it's performing, as you're giving it the energy that it simply needs to release, you begin to walk closer to the stage, step by step. Closer you get to the stage, the softer the music becomes. The closer you get to the stage, the lights begin to dim, until there's only one light left. The closer you get, you realize your object gets smaller and smaller. You walk up to the stage. You're standing center stage, right in front of the stage, and you realize that the stage is soil. And when you look up at your object again, it simply morphs into a seed that's right in the middle of the stage. You walk up the steps and you're standing on the edge. This is your growth edge. This is your opportunity. What do you choose to do next? I invite you to step onto the stage, put your feet in the soil, and this is your moment to declare that it's time for you to shift your perspective of what that object represented. It's time to release the old story, to claim what you see as your potential because of the experience. That experience was so large and in charge and dancing around that stage a few minutes ago, and now it is a seed of your potential. A seed that carries a lesson that you can claim, a truth to remember, an understanding for you to integrate. So what is that potential that you're ready to claim? Name it, claim it, declare it, proclaim it. You know you have a lesson. You know that there is a blessing in that experience. You know that when you accept that lesson, your potential is going to expand. What are you declaring? What is your next level? And you walk over and you pick up the seed. And allow yourself to be filled with gratitude, with compassion, with love for yourself, for the experience. Pour all of that love energy right from your heart into that seed. Feel it in your hand. Pick it up with your other hand, pop it in your mouth, and swallow it whole.
No man, no lotus. Haven't you noticed the patterns of the pain in your past? The things that broke you, well, they also woke you to the questions that you needed to ask. Sleepless nights and the dizzying heights, and the dreams, some of which came true. Tough breaks, the heartaches, perfect mistakes created this version of you. And everything you go if it was hard, it fueled the hunger. If it touched you, your heart took hold. If it was simple, it made you wise. If it was sweet, it made you smile. We've an indelible impression on your soul. Your feet, they walked in your lips, they talked, and your hands dug around for the proof. Every look, every book, picture in your mind that you took created this version of you. And everything you go through grows you, and everything you go through grows you, exposes the roots of an endless summer, part-time temporary lovers, and the swoon of the deep blue sky. And as the time flew, you planted and gathered your truth as it passed before your eyes. And the wound is where the light gets in, revealing the masterpiece just beneath the skin. In the glow of your own light, your petals open wide, and you bloom right where you are. And everything you go through grows you, grows you, and everything no mud, no lotus. Haven't you noticed the patterns of the pain in your past? The things that broke you, well, they also awoke you to the questions that you needed to ask.
Reconnect to the gratitude and the compassion and the love that you poured into that seed, and allow it to fill your heart. Plant that seed in your heart space. That is what is ready to be exposed. That is what you are declaring is the inspiration, the motivation, the empowered action of your next level, your next potential. Surround it with gratitude, surround it with love, nourish that seed. That seed is you. You are the seed. How you choose to grow with it and as it, that's what you declared. And with that love and compassion, I invite you to start from the top of your head and fill your body with your intention of that potential. Allow the energy to wash over you from your head, working your way down your entire body, right down to your feet, your ankles, your toes. And as you receive your inhale, allow that intention of potential to build, and with your exhale, send it out into your energy field, your earth bubble. Fill every part, energetic, physical, spiritual, mental, intellectual, emotional. Fill every part of you with that potential. And as you receive your next inhale, I invite you to pull all of that energy right back into your heart space. Allow your breath to activate the nourishment that that seed needs, the nourishment that you need. Begin to feel the seat below you, the ground under your feet, the energy of your beloveds surrounding you, the energy of the ancestors of this land. Come back into this space. Feel the support system. Feel the love surrounding you as you allow your breath to bring you back into this moment. And when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes. We love the lotus. We are the lotus. As we integrate that new potential, we bloom as the lotus. And in my mind, each petal represents a moment when we make an intentional and deliberate decision that we are ready for those lessons to be integrated. We're not going to push them away anymore. We are ready for the lessons. We unveil our new, deeply rooted potential, and that flower begins to blossom. But then what? That's all great, yeah? But then what? What's the next step? What do we do with that? So here's the interesting thing about the lotus. The seed pods of the lotus, they actually release into the water, trusting, fully surrendering and trusting that the current will deliver those seeds to a place that has ideal, maximum potential for growth. As we recognize the changes within ourselves, what do? We share. We share with our friends. We share our triumphs. We share those things that are challenging us still. We share the awarenesses, the aha, the revelations that we're having. And others can relate. We get real. We get authentic. And others can become inspired by our stories of transformation, by our lotus seeds, just like we can be inspired by hearing somebody else's experiences and their triumphs. We can model what it's like to get through to the other side and inspire others to want to do the same. So what other lotus flowers might have influenced your self-inquiry over the years? What other lotus flowers might seed because of what you are willing to share about your experiences? I personally believe that a lotus petal grows for both the person who shares and for the person who receives that sharing and is inspired to continue their own work, their own journey of self-exploration. Author and death doula S. Kelly Harrell says, "We don't heal in isolation, but in community." We don't heal in isolation, but in community. And how do we create community? Just like this. And probably food. Sharing our stories over food. Anytime we can fit food in there, right? So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge, okay? If you don't have your notes, it's okay. Let us know. I can send this to you if you really want the instructions, but just sit with this for a minute. Just follow along and it's going to make sense. So step 1, the challenge for the week. Where did we leave the meditation? You swallowed the seed and you planted that new level of potential that you would like to see within yourself, knowing darn well that you can become it. So, at some point during this week, I'm going to invite you to return to that place of contemplation. Envision how that new potential could, should, may, and will show up for you. And I know this goes against all things, but this is like when you coulda, shoulda, woulda all over yourself, okay? Like, do it. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Vision how that potential will show up as you, could show up as you, should show up as you with this new awareness. And as you see yourself breathing into and actualizing that new potential, what are those qualities, both internally and externally, that you recognize that you are going to level up? Those qualities that with this new awareness, you are going to step forward into this world and become and sharpen as you integrate this lesson. Those qualities are important, so you can write those qualities down. Those qualities are your lotus petals, right? So if you want to draw a lotus flower and put those qualities on the petals, that's your lotus flower that you are blossoming into. Step 2. I know, the lotus flower isn't enough. Because remember, Remember the seed pods, right? So step 2 is how could those qualities potentially influence and ripple beyond you into the community, into your family, into your home, into this community, into the wider community, into the world. That's the ripple effect. That's why we're here. And that's my own personal opinion, but that's why we're here, to have that ripple effect. What are we leaving behind? What is the energy that we are leaving as our legacy? So think about what could be that impact. And those are the ripples around your lotus flower. That's the water. Those are those seeds of potential that you're sharing, and that will, because everything is reciprocal, that will return to you and inspire you to create new petals of your own. So think about those feelings, think those qualities, the feelings that are generated with those qualities. And once you have that whole picture, whether it's in your mind, whether it's on paper, I'm guessing that's going to be a pretty darn good starting point for you to recognize your next level that is going to develop from simply recognizing that little devil, given that stage, just letting them have a few moments and not turning away, not letting it hurt you, and just walk away from it. We always say fear is the only thing that gets smaller the closer and closer you get to it. Everything else gets bigger. But fear, for some reason, thank goodness, it gets smaller and smaller every step we take, one step closer to it. We just have to uncover what we might have avoided, what we might have forgotten, and what we might have missed that's sitting there below the surface. Everything we bury is a seed. Every seed carries potential. Every potential inspires growth. Every growth introduces new levels. We do this for ourselves. We do this for all who came before. And we do this for those who have yet to come.
Everything you buried, everything you lost and didn't grieve, everything you buried was a seed, a seed. Everything you buried, everything you thought would make you bleed, everything you buried was a seed, a seed. Under the surface and under the rug, slowly things you wouldn't speak of, out of your mind and under your breath, 'cause it was all too hard and it was all too much. Everything you buried, memories you thought you could delete, everything you buried was a seed, a seed. Stuffed down into a chamber of your heart, the years gave it space to grow in the dark. You never look back to see it's always been with you. You can't go around what you got to go through. It shows up as a shadow you cast on your own. It shows up in your children, it shows up in your home. It's in between your words, raises everything you touch. It quietly lives as anger, shame, and as a grudge. It's in the fears and the doubts and all your neurosis. It's in the outcomes, your income, your final diagnosis. It lingers and teases till you can't deny it anymore, until one day it shows up uninvited at your door. But it's the friend of a friend, and all it wants to do is sit for a while and have its way with you. But there are lessons of forgiveness and love so much to hear. So lean in, breathe out, hold the message to your ear. And once you felt the feels, you can send it on its way. And the seed will disappear, and the roots they will decay. And the price that you'll have paid, oh, such a meager sum. For the ones who came before, and those who've yet to come. For the ones who came before, and those who yet to come. For the ones who came before, and the ones who yet to come, yeah. Everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried was a seed. Everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried was a seed. Everything you buried was a seed, was a seed. Everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried was a seed. Everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried, everything you buried was a seed. Thank you. Can we hear for the Queen? That was a beautiful talk. Thank you.